Hi friends, I have another craft for you today. Today we are gonna do a winter wall hanging. Snowflakes. Snowflakes and snowy pine cones. Isn't that sweet? You can hang this up on your door or you can hang it on your wall. It's really pretty. You can hang it up on, if you've got like metal decorations on your wall, I have some of those. It would hang really pretty from there. So this is what it looks like. It's super simple. Ribbon and snowflakes and pine cones. So this one has 3 pine cones, as you can see, and 2 snowflakes. I'm gonna make a second one today for you. And I'm gonna make 3 snowflakes and 2 pine cones, and we'll see which one we like best. So let's get started. So the snowflakes I picked up at, I forget where I picked it up. Old Time Pottery, but you can get them at Walmart or Dollar Tree, and they're just the pretty glittery white snowflakes. So we're going to use 3 of these. And the pine cones you can also buy if you don't have a resource. I do at work, which is so exciting. Aren't these gorgeous? I got them from outside. So that's so cool. And then you need some ribbon. I have some fun glittery ribbon that I thought was pretty with this. They also make some neat ribbon that has like snowmen on it, or snowflakes, for keeping with the snowflake theme. And then at the top I have some just white satin ribbon that I made a bow at the top, and that's it. So I'm gonna put some paint on my pine cones. And make them pretty snowy. So I was going to bring my heat gun down to dry this faster, but I forgot. So I'm going to paint the top first so I can let it dry before I glue it. It doesn't take long because we're only putting on just a smidge. You see this? We're just doing a smidge, and my pine cone is crazy pokey, but this is to look like it's just got a dusting of snow on it. So I'm using chalk paint because I'm really into chalk paint, but you can use acrylic or whatever you have at the house is fine. And you know what you also could use? If you still have some of that spray snow, that canned spray snow from Christmas, and when we crafted the snowman hat, you could just put a light dusting on there. Psh, spray it up in the air and let it fall naturally on this. That would look super cute. So, options, or just leave it without. That's fine too. But that's how it looks. That's the difference. So let me get the second one, and then we'll get to the ribbon part. So I'm gonna do my top so it'll dry fast enough for me to glue on it, and then working my way down. These are neat little sponge brushes that you can also get anywhere. Dollar Tree holds them, but literally Dollar General, Walmart, Target, all of them. They all sell these things, and I reuse them all the time. So after I paint with them, sometimes I glue with them, Mod Podge with them. After I use them, I just rinse them out and do it again, because I don't really care if it has residue paint on it. You know, if I wasn't able to get all of it off, like this one, if you looked close enough, you would see that it had some white paint still on it. That doesn't affect me at all. It doesn't come back off on any of my other crafts, so I'm good with that. All right, that's it for that. I am gonna scoop up the excess and put it back in the jar because waste not, want not, we don't wanna waste. Alrighty, we'll let that dry a second. Put this away so I don't have an accident. And let's work on the snowflakes. So you just set them out in the distance that you want them to hang. Stagger them like this, how I'm staggering. And that's how you're gonna cut your ribbon. So we do need some scissors. So I am gonna stagger those. My pine cones are already almost dry. I'm gonna stagger this up here, scooch down just a smidge. And then I'm just going to glittery. I wanna see how long I want this to go. And it kind of depends on where you're putting it, right? So you might wanna decide that first. But I am just stretching this out the distance and sipping it. And then I'll show you how to attach them. There we go. All right, I'm using the glue gun. And I want the shimmery part of my ribbon on the front so I can see it. So I'm gonna glue it, actually I'm gonna attach my snowflake onto the glittery, shimmery side so that when it's hanging straight, all I see is shimmer. So that's it. Just attach it on there. The snowflakes are reversible. If you had ribbon that had whatever you wanted on it on both sides, that would be awesome too. I do not. All right, and that's it. So then this one is for my pine cone. My pine cones don't have the little stem on it, so I am just putting glue on the top and putting the non-glittery side against the glue. Then holding it down with my scissors so I don't fry my fingers and just letting it sit there for a minute. And that's exactly how I did these. This one beside me. Here's a helpful hint. I made one of these years ago and I did put it on my front door and it was awesome. It was a great winter decoration for me in my house. But my door was red at the time and it faced the west. So when the sun set, oh, and I had a glass screen door. So I had a glass door that protected whatever I had on my front door. And when that afternoon sun would shine on that door, it would get really hot. And I guess the glass door helped amplify that heat. I'm not sure. But it fell apart. The glue, the hot glue, we're heating it up to melt the glue, right? And then when it cools off, it hardens. That's the whole concept of hot glue. So when it got hot on my front porch, then my craft fell apart. And I'm like, what in the world? And so I glued it back together and put it back out there. Happened again. I'm like, all right, that's not gonna work. So here's just an easy fix for you. One, if it's gonna be inside, you don't even have to worry about it. If you're gonna have your craft, if it's gonna be on your wall or something, you don't even have to worry about it. It's gonna be just fine with hot glue. If it is not going to be inside, or it's going to be on your front door and you're afraid that what happened to me will happen to you. Remember how we sometimes double these glues up and we use the hot glue to make it stick fast, right? To help it adhere fast and that stabilizes our craft while we're working on it. But then we also add some E6000 or super glue. That's what you need to do. So if you want to use it where you think it might get hot and the sun or whatever is going to make it melt, no problem. You can, if you've got the time, you could just use the E6000 or the super glue. But if you don't want to spend that time, or you want to make sure that it's drying exactly the way you want it to look, just double it up. Use both. Use a little strip of the hot glue and then a little strip of the super glue or the more permanent, and then boom, you're good to go. All right, while I was talking, we had all my little pieces put together. So now I am just gathering up my ribbon, and I'll show you in just a second. I'm putting them on top of each other and then seeing what I think. I think that this, I want this pine cone to go up higher. So I'm just gonna lift it up. There we go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm loving it. And then my other snowflakes will go on the bottom. So you finagle a little bit like that until it's the way you want it. You line up your ribbon and you tie a knot. So you just loop it through. Now, you can do, again, whatever you want to with this. If you don't want to tie a knot, you can staple them together, because we're going to hide it anyway. So if your fingers aren't that agile, or you just don't want a knot, you can staple them together. And that'll be just fine. I would not tape it. Don't tape it. And gluing would be messy. I would staple. Or you can tie a knot, just like I did. Ta-da! Then I am just going to, where's my front? This is my front. So I'll show it towards you. I'm just going to snip this off because we will see the top part. I'm just going to make a little triangle like this. And then I'm going to make a bow, a satin bow to go on top of that to cover that up so it looks prettier to me. But you can leave it just like that because this knot turned out cute. And my ribbons are just going to spin around, and like I said, I have a shiny side and a not shiny side. I'll just, when I put it up on my wall or wherever it's going to go, I will then turn my pine cone or my snowflake around so that my ribbons are facing the right way. So here is just satin ribbon, and I'm going to make a bow. So my satin ribbon is only satin on one side. It's shiny on one side. It's one-sided, as they say. So I'm just going to make a quick little bow. So this is how I do it since it's one-sided. I don't know. There might be a better way. I'm not perfect at bows. But I made a little loop, and the shiny side's on the outside. And then I'm making a second loop, and I'm tying it together, just like when we were kids and we learned how to tie our shoe, or some people tie their shoe that way. But I am going to make my second loop inside out. So one is shiny on the outside and one is not shiny on the outside. And I'm just going to loop it around, tie it. Loop through, pull my hoop through, and pull it tight. Then I'm adjusting my sizes of my loops. Then I have one that is shiny and one that's not shiny. I'm going to flip that one that's not shiny. Now, why did I do that? I did it because I want my tails to both have the shiny part on the outside. And that's how it worked with this one. And it worked. I don't know. I did it the first time and I had one shiny tail and one not shiny tail. And I wanted them both to be on the outside. So I faced it to you. The shiny part's facing to you. And now I flipped my hoop over, my loop over, and I have two shiny loops and two shiny tails. So that's how I did it. There might be a better way, but I'll say it again. I made 2 hoops, still connected to my roll, and I just tied them together like some people do their shoes. But my second loop, my first loop had the shiny part of the satin on the outside. My first one did. My second one, I flipped it backward so it did not have the shiny part out. It had the other side on the outside. Tied it and pulled it tight, and then both of my tails are both shiny, facing the same way, and then I just flipped my loop around. My hoop around. Loop. I flipped my loop around. Ta-da! That's it. Lord have mercy, it should not be that complicated. Then I'm just going to put a dab of glue on my knot, which is cute by itself, but I am going to put my bow on there since I took the time to do it, right, and show you. I'm just going to hold it here for a second. And that's it. That's it. You can combine, you can hang whatever you want to hang. You don't have to use pine cones if you don't want to, but I think they're lovely. And that's it. Aren't they pretty? So here's the one with 2 pine cones. Here's the one with 3 pine cones. Shake, shake, shake. You figure out which one you like best. I like them both. I don't know that I have a preference. They're both lovely. And there you go. That's it for our crafting time today. I hope you had fun. I hope you try to do this yourself. And we'll see you next time.